You see it, right? The beautiful trails, the shiny new condos, all the breweries popping up. You see the pictures they sell you of the new Atlanta, but that's not the whole story. Nah, that's not even the real story. We're about to walk a different path, one that shows you exactly how the city's celebrated green trails got paved right over a deep red history. And you've got to understand this from the jump: the displacement, the inequality, the two different Atlantas you see today. None of that just happened. It was drawn up, it was engineered, it was all part of a plan. All right, so let's get into it. The Atlanta BeltLine. It's the city's crown jewel, a 22-mile loop of parks and trails, and everyone's calling it a miracle of urban revitalization. It's supposed to connect all of us, but what they don't tell you is what it had to disconnect first. And see, that's the question they hope you never ask. Who really gets to enjoy all this new green space? And maybe more importantly, who got pushed out of the way to make room for it? Who's paying the real price for all this so called progress? Now, to understand what's happening today, we got to go back, way back. We got to look at the blueprint. Because long before the first shovel ever hit the dirt for the Beltline, it was another plan for the city, a blueprint for division, drawn right on a map. The official term was redlining. Well, let's call it what it was: a weapon on paper. The federal government literally drew red lines around black neighborhoods, slapping a hazardous label on them. And that wasn't just a suggestion, it was a command to banks to choke off the money, to starve our communities of the credit they needed to build, to grow, to even exist. And don't you ever let anybody tell you this was just about economics. No, this is a direct quote from the government's own playbook back in 1935. Read the words: incompatible racial groups. They put the racism right there in black and white. This was about building a system of American apartheid, one neighborhood at a time. So here's the thing you got to get: those lines on the map weren't just ink, they became invisible walls right here on the ground. They blocked black families from getting loans, from buying homes, from building the exact kind of generational wealth that became the foundation of the white middle class. This was nothing less than a state sanctioned heist of the American dream. But they didn't stop with the maps. Oh no. After they finished starving our communities with redlining, they came back with the bulldozers. It was a vicious 1-2 punch. First, deny all the investment, then bring in the demolition crews. Just look at how it played out. It's a straight line. In the 30s, they draw the maps. By the 50s, they use those very same maps to decide exactly where to plow the new interstates. They aimed I-75 and I-85 like a weapon, straight through the heart of Black Atlanta. We're talking Sweet Auburn, Summerhill, gutting thriving communities, destroying Black owned businesses, and basically sealing the economic coffin. And here's what that looks like today: the cold, hard numbers. By 2019, the median white family in this country had almost $190,000 in wealth, and the median black family, just a little over 24,000. Don't you dare call that a gap. That's a Grand Canyon. It wasn't an accident. It was dug, inch by decades of racist policy. Okay, so now let's bring it all the way to today. You see how this all connects? Decades later, those same neighborhoods, the ones they starved and then bulldozed, were sitting on depressed land values. And to investors, that didn't look like a historical crime scene, it looked like a bargain. And that right there is the whole story in four words. First, they denied us the capital we needed to own our own communities. Then, once those communities suddenly became valuable again to other people, they displaced us from them. It's the same old game, just with a new name. They used to call it urban renewal. Now they call it gentrification. And the numbers don't lie. Back in 1990, Atlanta was the black Mecca, almost 70% black. Fast forward to 2019, and we weren't even the majority in our own city anymore. Now, that's not just a statistic. That's families. That's histories. That's entire cultures being pushed out of the very city they built. And it happens so fast, it'll make your head spin. Just look at the old Fourth Ward, Dr. King's neighborhood. The Beltline comes through, and in just 5 years, the average price of a home shoots from under 300 grand to over $660,000. Now you tell me, how is your grandma supposed to pay the property taxes on that? Who can survive that kind of economic violence? And the thing is, they knew this was coming. They promised affordable housing would be built right alongside the Beltline. They swore they'd have protections for the legacy residents. But like the AJC said, the fancy development definitely happened. The affordable housing, yeah, that part never quite showed up. Just more broken promises built on broken ground. But this story does not end with us being erased. Make no mistake, all across this city, the people who were pushed out are now pushing back. There is a fight to stay. There is a fight to reclaim what has always been ours. See, people are organizing. You got community land trusts taking property off the speculative market for good to guarantee it stays affordable. You got groups like the Housing Justice League organizing in the streets and at City Hall, demanding real protections. So, no, this is not a eulogy. This is a battle, and it is happening right now. So, when you walk that trail, that's the real question you should be asking. Who gets to stay? Who gets to call Atlanta home? Who gets to benefit from all the beauty and all the growth? The answer to that question is going to define the very soul of this city for generations to come. Look, what I just gave you is just the beginning. Every single thing I told you is backed up by facts, by data, by historical documents. I need you to see it for yourself. Go to reflectivemds.com, get the receipts, see the maps, read the full story. Because knowing the truth, that's the first step to actually changing it.